Creatine builds more muscle than whey, not by a little, by almost 5 times more independent impact, according to the largest studies ever done on both supplements. And now I'm going to show you exactly why, with the real numbers, so you understand what's actually happening inside your body when you take each one. Phil is 28 years old. He lives in New York City. Every month, he faces the same decision that most people who train face. Which supplement do I take? So he picks the one that seems most obvious, whey protein, because it's what everyone takes. It's what shows up in every training video. It's what the big guys at the gym are always mixing in their shakers. Phil has been training for 1 year. He eats reasonably well, hits his protein more or less, and results are coming, but slower than he'd like. And nobody ever explained to him that there's a supplement with more scientific evidence behind it that will deliver more muscle than the whey he takes every month. Before I get into the numbers, I need to explain how both of them actually work, because whey and creatine are not competing for the same job. They do completely different things inside your body. Whey protein is a fast-digesting milk protein, rich in leucine, the amino acid that activates the muscle protein synthesis signal. When you take whey, your body receives the bricks and the signal to build muscle. Creatine works on a completely different system. 95% of the creatine in your body sits in your muscles as phosphocreatine, an energy battery that recharges ATP during explosive, high-intensity efforts. When you supplement creatine, that battery becomes 20 to 40% more charged. That means you can do more reps, lift more weight, complete more quality training volume, and more quality training volume means more muscle. Whey supplies the bricks, creatine charges the battery, and amplifies the building signal. They're different tools doing different jobs. Now let me show you the numbers Phil didn't know. The largest meta-analysis ever done on protein supplementation and hypertrophy, 49 studies, almost 2,000 people, found that supplementing protein adds an average of 0.3 kilograms of lean mass compared to training without supplementing. But that number has an important asterisk. That benefit exists almost entirely when the supplementation helps you reach your daily protein target. If you're already eating enough protein, if you're already hitting 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight per day, additional whey makes almost no difference. Whey isn't magic, but it will help a lot when it's convenient. Sometimes you come home after work and you don't feel like making rice and chicken. Grab your blender, make a shake with banana, oats, peanut butter, and whey. It'll get you basically the same result, and it's way more practical. Now, the creatine numbers. A 2025 meta-analysis, 61 studies, have found that creatine plus strength training increased fat-free mass by an average of 1.39 kilograms compared to training without creatine, versus 0.3 from whey, almost 5 times more independent impact and strength. Studies show creatine produces on average 8% more strength on maximum lifts compared to training without it. 8% on bench press, 8% on squat, 8% on deadlift. That's the number Phil was leaving on the table every month while taking whey. Here's a very important point. Phil eats chicken, eggs, and Greek yogurt regularly. He's already hitting approximately 140 grams of protein per day through food alone, which means the whey he takes every month is essentially filling a gap that doesn't exist. He's getting convenience, not extra muscle. That doesn't make sense. The creatine he never took works independently of everything else. It doesn't matter if Phil's diet is perfect or imperfect. On any given day, creatine will be there charging the battery, allowing one more rep, one more pound on the bar, more quality volume, and quality volume is what builds muscle. Are you enjoying Tani's videos? Subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Thank you for watching, and stay with me, because what comes next is what most people never consider when comparing the two. Phil had this insight one Sunday sitting on a bench in Central Park. He opened his phone, went to his supplements app, and switched his next order from whey to creatine monohydrate. Simple as that, 3 to 5 grams per day, every day, any time of day. 4 weeks later, the difference in training was visible. It was not in the mirror yet, but in the numbers. 1 more rep on bench press, 2 more on squat. That feeling of the tank not being empty on the last sets. After 8 weeks, he started seeing it in the mirror too. Phil hadn't discovered a secret. He had simply switched to the supplement that science says builds more muscle. So what's the real answer? Straight to the point. Number 1, creatine builds more muscle than whey independently, almost 5 times more impact on lean mass, and it works regardless of how your diet looks on any given day. Number 2, whey only builds more muscle than creatine if you genuinely can't hit your protein target with food. If you eat chicken, eggs, meat, and dairy regularly, whey is filling a gap that probably doesn't exist. Number 3, the creatine dose is simple. 3 to 5 grams per day, every day, any time of day, no loading needed, no perfect timing needed, just consistency. Number 4, using both is the ideal option if possible. They don't interfere with each other, they're additive. But if you have to choose, the hierarchy is clear. Number 5, creatine monohydrate is the only form you need. No need for creatine HCl, ethyl ester, or any more expensive version. Monohydrate is the most studied and the one that works. Phil spent a year taking the wrong supplement. He wasn't naive, but nobody had bothered to show him the real numbers. If you were also taking whey without needing it, drop a comment below. I'm Tani, and if this video made sense to you, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks.